It's time to sit back, relax, and listen to Change Your Attitude, Change Your Life. Change Your Attitude, Change Your Life will inspire, motivate, and empower you. Live your best life now. Listen, learn, think, and decide. Change your attitude, change your life. And now, here's your host, Joan Herman.
Welcome to Change Your Attitude, Change Your Life. I'm Joan Herman. Thanks for tuning in. Change Your Attitude, Change Your Life brings you interviews with some of the most inspirational and influential people in the world. It's our goal to educate and empower you so you can live your best life now. Thank you for taking time for yourself, and thank you for letting us be a part of your life. We have another great show for you today. When a woman falls in love with a person that has children, she may not be thinking about the obstacles ahead. It's been reported that more than 1 in 4 American adults have had at least one step relative in their family. But blending families is no easy task. Today's guest, Kendall Rose, started getting together with other women to discuss their experiences as stepmoms. They discovered that while every family is different, there are common issues that stepmothers face. Kendall is the author of the Stepmoms Club, How to Be a Stepmom Without Losing Your Money, Your Mind, and Your Marriage. Welcome, Kendall. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me, Joan.
So, Kendall, as I said in the introduction, when we fall in love with a person who has children, we're so caught up in the relationship that we may not be paying attention to some of the realities of the situation that will be facing us. So tell us a little bit about your blended family.
Well, Joan, we don't know what to expect. And it's interesting because as a stepmother, you fall in love, you think to yourself, oh, how difficult can this be? And when you're a stepmother, what you realize at the very beginning is it is an analogy of walking into a movie theater. Mm-hmm. You're in a movie theater, the movie has already begun, and you're trying to play catch up and figure out where you fit in. And as you're trying to figure out where you fit in, you're seeing the movie going on at the same time. And you want to be a part of what is occurring. And in my case, that was the same way, just like so many other stepmothers. And you want to be there for your partner. You want to be there for your stepchildren. But yet the movie begun and you're not sure what your role is.
It's been reported that a large percentage of women who marry men with children say that they would not do it again. So from your experience, how common is this problem?
It is very, very common because what stepmothers don't realize, just like our group of stepmothers who form the Stepmothers Club, is all that goes along with being a stepmother. And that's why we outline it in the chapters about understanding the paperwork, the custody agreement, the alimony, the child support, understanding what are house rules going to be. You don't realize how involved you are with the ex. In other words, once you are in this committed relationship or you're married, you will see the ex. And this ex has more of an effect on your life than anyone could have ever imagined as a stepmother. And we also say it's really, really important to learn how to disengage because you get pulled into situations that you didn't really ever anticipate being pulled into. How are you going to discipline? Are you going to discipline? What are the stepchildren going to call you? Where do you fall in the ranking, so to speak, of this blended family? All of a sudden, do you have any rights to be going to the school, picking your stepchild up, dropping your stepchild off? Will you be there in terms of having your name as an emergency contact that if you go to the school or you go to an event to pick up your child, you can even do that? What's the relationship going to be like between your partner and the ex, which then entails what's the relationship with you and the ex? So many things that we just don't think about. And that's really why the group of us got together and wrote this book, because it's so common, so many of these issues. And we realized that we wish we knew these answers or what to expect when we first came into our relationship. And we wrote this as your girlfriend's guide. It's this big hug, and we're here to help you and provide advice because we say knowledge is power.
Kendall, one of the items that you mentioned was getting to see the papers and understanding the finances. What advice do you offer to help someone overcome those financial hurdles?
Accept it. There is no reason to fight it. There's no reason to constantly have discussions about it or even argue about it with your spouse. Because unless you're willing to go back to court, it's a legal document. It is binding. And I would say, just like in any relationship, money is a very big issue. And this is a very tough pill to swallow. But we say you have to just accept it.
And when you're blending families, you're also blending personalities. You're dealing with issues of resentment and jealousy and, children who may feel like you're taking a parent's place. So how do you deal with a stepchild who says something like, I hate you, or I don't have to listen to you, you're not my mother?
Well, we encourage stepmothers to come up with a phrase because chances are this will come out of your stepchild's mouth or children's mouth at some point. And whatever that phrase may be, such as, I'm sorry to hear that you feel that way. I love you. I care about you. I am here for you. How can we make it different? How can we be a team? So knowing that this highly likely will be said at some point, again, you can't take it personally, but don't be caught flat-footed. And if it's phrased something along the lines of, my mommy tells me that she doesn't like you either, we say, that's unfortunate because I love you, your mother loves you, your father loves you, and we are all here for you.
And what about when your husband doesn't necessarily support you, or at least it appears that he's not?
That's very important. You have to have the support of your spouse or your partner, the person that you're in the relationship with. And we encourage, number one, date night. Come up with a day of the week that it is just the two of you, and the importance of spending time alone together so you can communicate and talk about the fact that you don't feel that your partner has your back and why it's important. And it's going to happen, no doubt about it. And we even recommend that it gets to a point where you feel that you're not communicating or on the same level. Your partner, seek counsel, those lines of communication to be opened and figure out how you can work together as a team, because your partner has to have your back for it to be successful.
These things that we're talking about, should this be a conversation before you even accept the marriage proposal?
Yes, we encourage other stepmoms to be that if you're at the point where you're going down that path of being in a committed relationship, you have these conversations. It's not pleasant. It's not pretty. Reading the documents, there's nothing sexy about it, but power is knowledge. And you should understand truly what you're getting into before you're fully committed.
I know, as I was asking that question, I could hear someone saying, oh, that's not romantic, but it would be naive not to have that conversation.
Agreed. It would be very naive. And I can't tell you how many stepmothers over all these years, because 15 years in the making of this book, never read until way after being in the marriage or the committed relationship. And at that point, it's a little too late. You've had the fight. You've had the disagreements. You've had the sadness. You had no idea that your partner was paying for little Johnny's pitching coach that was going to be going on for months and months and months. And all that money was going out the door, and you didn't realize it.
Kendall, do you think it's more difficult for a woman to be a step-parent than it is for a man?
Well, I can't necessarily say for a stepfather it's more difficult, but what I can say is there are many similarities, but there are also differences. Because typically the stepmother is a caregiver, more so at times than a stepfather. But many of the situations are so similar. And over the years of conversations we've had with stepfathers, they find it difficult too to figure out where their place is in this blended family. And this book will help stepfathers as well as stepmothers because these issues are common.
The book is The Stepmoms Club, How to Be a Stepmom Without Losing Your Money, Your Mind, and Your Marriage. If you'd like to get more information about Kendall and her work, you can visit thestepmomsclub.com. Kendall, in our final moments, what's the takeaway? What would you like to leave our listeners with?
I highly recommend ease in to being a stepmother. You don't have to go all in. Understand that this is a blending situation and everybody is learning to adjust.
Kendall, thank you for sharing this advice, which has been learned by experience. And while it may be difficult to blend families, I don't want to scare anyone. It is possible, and the rewards can be great. So thank you for sharing this knowledge. It can absolutely impact so many lives.
Thank you so much.
This is Change Your Attitude, Change Your Life. Stay with us. We'll be right back.